Attention all you rule breakers, you misfits and troublemakers, all you free spirits and pioneers, all you visionaries and nonconformists. Everything the establishment has told you is wrong with you is actually what's right with you. You see things others don't. You are hardwired to change the world. Unlike 9 out of 10 people, your mind is irrepressible, and this threatens authority. You were born to be a revolutionary. You can't stand rules because in your heart you know there's a better way. You have strengths dangerous to the establishment, and it wants them eliminated. So your whole life you've been told your strengths were weaknesses. Now I'm telling you otherwise. Your impulsivity is a gift. Impulses are your key to the miraculous. Your distractibility is an artifact of your inspired creativity. Your mood swings reflect the natural pulse of life. They give you unstoppable energy when you're high, and deep soulful insight when you're low. Been diagnosed with a disorder? That's society's latest way to deny its own illness by pointing the finger at you. Your addictive personality is just a symptom of your vast, underused capacity for heroic creative expression and spiritual connection. Your utter lack of repression, your wide-eyed idealism, your unmitigated open mind. Didn't anyone ever tell you? These are the traits shared by the greatest pioneers and visionaries, innovators, revolutionaries, procrastinators, and drama queens, activists on the social scene, space cadets, and mavericks, philosophers, and derelicts, business suits, flying fighter jets, football stars and sex addicts, celebrities with ADD, alcoholics who seek novelty, first responders, prophets and saints, mystics, and change agents. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all affected by the way. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all attracted to the flame. You know in your heart there's a natural order, something more sovereign than any man-made rules or laws could ever express. And this natural order is called the way. The way is the eternal substrate of the cosmos. It guides the very current of time and space. The way is known by some as the will of God, divine providence, the Holy Spirit, the implicate order, the Tao, reverse entropy, life force. But for now, we'll simply call it the way. The way is reflected in you as the source of your inspiration, the source of your passions, your wisdom, your enthusiasm, your intuition, your spiritual fire.
Let's give it a couple of seconds. Right, and guys, the Missing Piece podcast revamped and refreshed and back going at it again. So today I've got Danny Turton on, who's from Dewsbury. We've recently connected and we spoke quite a bit over the past couple of weeks. And me and Dan have decided to get a podcast on today to speak on his journey so far and what he's been through, what he's had to get through, his hurdles, his journey really. You know, the journey that's created the man today, the ingredients that's created the man in front of us. So Danny's 36-year-old. He used to do karate from 6-year-old, and he slowly got into kickboxing, which become your main martial arts, your main your main sport. 92 fights with some boxing fights, obviously within that. And then he hit about with depression in 2021, and had a split from his missus, and it was his baby's mother, and he had a suicide attempt of a hanging, which he quite clearly survived, thank God. And it was sectioned for 14 weeks. Now that must have been very interesting. Not long after that, he fought for a British title in September 2021, and it was a British super heavyweight title on the ISK. 86 kilo he was at the time, yeah? 86 kilo.
86 kilo.
Yeah, against a 126 kilo man, so 40 kilo.
I think 120 to 126, I think you are, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
big lad.
That's a big difference, isn't it? It's massive. And and then shortly after you got a TIA bleed on the brain, and that obviously took you to the hospitalisation to get scans and such afterwards.
Yeah.
He's also got a podcast that he's done more recently, and it's called the Listen Here podcast. If you want to see more of Danny and his journey, then you can go on there. You see about how he's risen in the sport of boxing and, well, just doing shows of your own in general, yeah?
Yeah. I also had one of my fighters on there as well, Morgan Starkey. He was on it with us. And he talked a little bit about his background as well. So that's a good listen for anybody, really.
Yeah, well, I'll most likely invite Morgan on here. I know Morgan Starkey quite well. You know, we're not someone who's spent loads of time together, but seen each other at shows, and I've met him a few times out and about. And the guy's a solid guy. You know, he's a good dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah, one of the best ones. So, so is there anything you want to add to that, brother? Is there anything you want to add to your story so far? Anything that's happened in between? Anything that's happening more recently?
Not much really. I mean, positive stuff lately. Yeah, it's more positive now. I've got a good solid team going at the moment. Jim's doing well. Alex has just made a statement down at BKB in London.
Yeah.
He had a bit of a bad loss down there the other year.
Yeah.
In fact, when Alex actually lost, that was towards the back end of my being sectioned. Alex had to sign me out to go to London with him. Yeah, so it was mad. So people don't see what's going on behind fucking scenes, do they? Like, so
I can imagine that, mate. Imagine Alex signing you out of a nut job home. Gezi Castle.
Yeah.
He should be locked up there himself, I think, sometimes.
No, some shit we say, Jim, we think like we should all be banged up, really.
Or maybe where the best free thinkers going. Maybe that's the problem. They don't want free thinkers out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to talk a bit about the about the fight career. You know, how did you go from karate to kickboxing, and why did you find kickboxing the sport of choice?
So it was weird, really. I mean, my dad were a tough person, like not just physically tough, he was just tough as a parent, you know. And my mum were really, I mean, I'm not going to go too much into this, but my mum were really mothering, and she wanted me to get into, my dad wanted me to get into boxing. And my mum were like, fuck that, he's not going there until he learns how to swim and blah, blah, just random shit like mums say.
Yeah.
And we met in the middle, and I remember this karate gym were like going around local area, knocking on your door on a Sunday afternoon and stuff, handing out flyers, and they come in the house and started talking. And I just got into karate then, and I think I was 6. And
find it, you going to school doing like little judo chops and that on people.
Yeah. Do you know what though? When I was at school, it was weird then, because like combat sports and martial arts now seem so popular.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who, you know, people are following BKB, people are following UFC, people are watching, like I like to call them like your fake boxers, like your Jake Pauls. I mean, even though he's doing all right, but you know, they all know who they are and what the sport is. Whereas when I was a kid, like it was more football and rugby that everybody wanted to do at school.
Think about that. I like the fact that it's happening more so now, and children are starting to see the discipline in the sport, and that's why I chose discipline.
And parents see it as well, you know. And maybe we were lost in that generation, because the kids now that are starting to see it all, you know, there's a lot of antisocial behaviour and all sorts of shit going on now, and this is the time to get kids into stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? All these teenagers, they should have been doing it 10 years ago.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, bro, like it teaches children controlled aggression, and it teaches them that they don't need to pick up a knife. You know, I said this for a little while to a lot of people. The people I meet on a daily basis, and they ask what I do for, I don't do it for a living, but I'm certainly involved in the sport. And I say, if we all knew how to fight, no one would want to fight anybody. If I know that everybody in my local vicinity could have a little pagger, and didn't know just how good anyone of them was, what we're going on, want to fight.
They all respect each other.
Yeah, like if everyone had a gun in their back pocket, no one would be firing guns, because they know there'd be 10, 20, 30 pointing back at them once they do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
When you take someone's security away, or you take their confidence away, then you create more of an animal, more of a monster, because then they try to prove themselves, and once you've proved yourself in a boxing ring or in a karate gym or BJJ, whatever you're doing, once you prove yourself, you become a bit more relaxed because you think, I can do that, man, and I don't need to be an ass. I don't need to be comfortable with people because I'd rather knowing myself that I can fight and be able to protect others than start the fight and get me kicked in because I don't know how to fight.
And this is what I like about the scene. Like, I don't socialise. I don't go out. I mean, I went out last Saturday with lads from gym, and I've been out for fucking 10 years, and that's not my sort of scene. But like, I like to go to shows. I like to meet everybody because everybody's got that nice, humble. And you'll notice whenever you go to a boxing show, you get your knobheads in crowd, but they're knobheads that haven't fought. They're knobheads that aren't been around people, and then like you bump into people like yourself and other lads, and that's my socialisation. And everybody's so humble, and everybody works together. Do you know?
Yeah, and then when you're recognising other fighters around, the confidence grows because you got people backing you. I mean, that's not in a bad way. Like I'm saying, like that the people you're around have a good nature.
Of course, yeah.
When you see the crowd, and okay, I don't hate on any crowd, but I've seen some crowds that can be quite hateful. And when they bring that hate through the door, it causes all sorts of mischief and violence.
Of course it does, yeah.
If you have to go support your friends for a fight, and you get a bit of a chip on your shoulder, and you nudge someone, you get a bit pissed off with someone just because your fighter's lost, or your fighter's fighting one of their fighters, or just because you're having a drink, then you're really disrespecting the fight you have to go see. In many ways. So
of course, yeah. You're ruining sport, aren't you?
Yeah, man. So I always say those that champion me for getting in the ring, I champion them for acting on the best behaviour, for coming and being respectful for my respect to getting in the ring for them. I think there's a lot of people don't see it like that, but I think if we if we really sat down and listened to our fighters and what they're saying, if they're of good nature, then you'll see that they don't want carrying on out there. The fight should be in the ring. It's nice that.
Of course, mate. Yeah, and like when I put my shows on, first thing I say to all my fighters that fight on the show, I'll say, whether I know them or I don't know them, I said, you're responsible for your own crowd. Yeah. Second, your crowd start being dicks, you're banned off show. I'll never have you on again.
Yeah, because it's a reflection of you, Like,
of course, yeah.
Follow you for whatever message you're spreading and whatever sort of fight you are, your energy, your character, your personality. If your personality is about fighting out there in the streets constantly and being a cunt, then they're going to do the same. We have to promote inspiration, not influence. That's
yeah.
I think a lot of the fighters are getting more so well acquainted with that now because we lost it for a while. I think a lot of fighters they see the thing on the TV, the bickering, the arguing, the ramping, the fucking the heat before the fight to sell tickets, and they adopt that. They adopt that as their own. They monkey see, monkey do, imitation art, and they think selling tickets because of all this Conor McGregor and Mayweather going head to head, being knobheads with each other. It promotes that to our children, so then the competition becomes unhealthy.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, what I was saying is, the boxing, you got into you've done a bit of boxing. I'm guessing you've been drafted in because you can throw some hands. And
yeah. I mean, when I started my karate, I mean, when I went to karate and then into kickboxing, I trained at a gym in Wakefield. It was called Chulda. I mean, now it's an academy, and I'm not gonna say anything about the owners because they've been like my parents, Yeah. But they've gone more down like the academy route, and and built an empire really. But back in the day, Chulda, it was up Cheapside, and it was a building, and the couple that owned it, they worked full time, and on each floor, I think there were like 4 floors. They had like different rooms with different stuff on. So like one night on a Monday on floor 1, you might have Thai. Go up onto the second floor, the BJJ. It was like a massive hub. And there were people there like Pete Larkin, who owns British Combat Academy. There were Pete Holland. I think Neil Hall trained out of there, who passed away. And it was just a really good place. And I think from what I know, it was like the first place in the UK to have a cage. They had like a four-sided galvanized cage in the basement.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, honestly. And I did my karate through another company, and then I moved over there, and I just fitted in. Like my thing was kicking, and at the time, because it was Western style kickboxing, you had to kick above the waist, so you had like long shiny pants on, and you could only kick where skin was. Do you know what I mean? So, and then I went into the boxing side because
like Aikido. Sorry, mate, is that a bit like Aikido?
Aikido's more like throwing. It's a bit like Taekwondo.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. Yeah.
Got mixed up then. That's anyway. Yeah. Taekwondo.
Yes. Yeah. So I realised like my hands were lacking a little bit because it started like conversing into other stuff. Then so you'd have like Thai boxers coming into it because it were a bit of a faster pace.
Yeah.
You know, it would just so I did quite a bit of boxing, and then I went into the kickboxing more then, and then that's when it changed, and you ended up with like small shorts on, and you could kick legs, and then that's what they call kind of K1 now, basically Dutch style kickboxing.
Yeah. Change the names a lot, don't they, to differentiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, have you seen Capoeira? Have you ever seen the Capoeira movements?
Yeah. It's like a dance, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to do something like that, mate. But the leg game with the Capoeira is something different, man. They're really doing all the spiral kicks and stuff.
Yeah. Well, see, like I've taught in schools, and I used to have a lad, Chris Banks, who used to teach Capoeira, and
Capoeira,
it started off as a dance because it like people like that were slaves, they learned how to dance, but they weren't allowed to use it as like a martial art. So they kind of danced basically, but it was a martial art. So people, the white people didn't kind of cotton on. Do you know what I mean? So it was crazy. Yeah, that's like the heritage of it. It's mad how some sports start, really, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. That's nice, man. I think it's Capoeira. Yeah, I used to say Capoeira for some reason. I think that's exactly the way of explaining it. I think to describe it, you're doing Capoeira. Yeah. I seen a film years ago about it, and it just intrigued me. Maybe that's the time I should have been picking up doing a bit of leg kicking.
Yeah, you need to get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, so you went into the kickboxing, and you've had 92 fights. That's a lot of fights in total, mate.
Altogether, so I've had 4 MMA, and I'm not gonna lie, mate. Most of the MMA that I did, I kind of just took for a payday.
Yeah. You weren't a fall guy, though. I'm guessing you went in there to try and win still.
Yeah, I did. I mean, there is one fight of me on. I fought on Combat Challenge, and people don't know really like the backstory of that. But I took that fight short notice because I needed the money to pay my rent.
Yeah, got it. Sometimes needs brother. Sometimes needs must. I get that.
Yeah, mate, and I lost so much fucking weight in 10 days. I was ill. Felt fucking ill. I'd just come out of sauna, steam room, Cedar Court Hotel at Bradford, and within 2 fights I was fighting. Do you know, I was fucked really. But yeah, people don't know like the backstories. It's not excuses, but there's always a story to a fight, isn't there? You know.
Of course, man.
And then
training itself as well as a story. You know, the journey into the ring is always something going on. There's an injuries coming up, or some sort of issues back home, and you know what I mean. There's always something you're also fighting in here whilst you're fighting, ready for physical.
Of course, mate, and that's why I respect anybody that gets in and fights. You know,
especially those that train. Those that don't train, not so much. But
yeah, mate. I mean, we know who fighters are, and we know who fighters are, don't we? Really?
Yeah, man. Certainly.
We do, and you can see it a mile off. You know, you see it on your social media quite a bit, and you see lads that kind of are straight out there, and you can see that they want it and they want to train. They want it. I say this to my guys at gym, like, if you can't dedicate your time and energy into this, because it's not a sport you can pick up and drop.
No.
It's a lifestyle. Your diet's got to be on point. Your cardio's got to be good. Your mentality's got to be right. You've got to be in the gym. My job isn't to get you fit. My job's to get you boxing. When you come to train with me, you should be out there doing your road running yourself. I shouldn't be with a stick up your ass saying get out and do your running.
Yeah,
that's what fighters do.
Well, obviously you've got your owner of a gym, so you're kind of a mentor to a lot of people. You are a mentor to a lot of people, and I'm guessing obviously your lifestyle in between fights from before will shine onto the gym and how you want your gym to be running. And and there's another thing as well. Obviously, whilst we're talking about gyms, if you want to send you a link through for the gym. What's your gym called, brother? Just for people to know.
It's Team Agogi in Batley or Dewsbury.
Right.
So we do. I've got a lot of lads that are fighting bare knuckle at the moment, but we do boxing and kickboxing. We've also got a guy called Mick Howe, trained all over the world, and he teaches sambo and a bit of BJJ stuff. Yeah, and we've got kids classes and loads and loads of PTs. It's wicked, man. It's a good community down there with about 150 members, I reckon, altogether.
We'll put a link up to the gym and to some of your fights as well at the end. So if anybody who's watching the podcast at the end, if you can click on some of the links at the bottom, and you can go and have a look and see what Danny's been up to for the past few years, especially. But and obviously he's doing the promotions. I'm fighting on his show on the 4th of October.
Yeah, Immortal. Yeah.
It's only just been told, so don't have my guts for that. But yeah, so we'll put some links up for that. You're saying so you went from 4 fights that you won, some you just had to take for the money, and
yeah, I just took a few for money, mate. And like when I talk about 92 fights, it's not where I've had like 92 fights and I'm walking out and having ring entrance music. What I'm saying is that's over my whole career from a junior to an adult, and you know how it works. I fought in a 38-man tournament in 2010 in Morocco.
Yeah,
got to semi-finals over there. I got stopped, got kneed under chin, and I thought I broke my jaw, but I'd actually bit through my gum shield into my cheek, so they stopped the fight.
Okay.
So I know I've got a fucking chin on me. I took that shot, like, do you know what I mean? But
yeah. Here's a shout out to my gum shield provider, Rebel Gum Shields, Harley Deering. Absolutely top bloke, yeah. He's always done my gum shield since I started BKB. In fact, before that, actually, he's been doing my gum shields about 12 years now. So if you want a good gum shield, one that you're not going to bite through your cheek, give him a shout, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's.
It were a little shitty boil and bite one that I took it out there with me. Fucking idiot. But
well, mate, that's what you get for buying fucking cheap like that. It's your own fault.
yeah, it is, mate. So, but yeah, most of them, like I had tournaments, so like just in that spate there, there was something like I think there was 7 fights or something, 6, 7 fights that we had in that tournament, and then like when I was doing my kickboxing, it was more like rather than being in the ring, you were on like a flat mat, so it was like like tatami sports and stuff.
Yeah.
So like British Open and stuff like that, you could go there on one day and you could have probably 4 fights in the same day. Yeah.
That's real challenge, that, mate. I've had a couple of fights in one night, as I'm sure a lot of people maybe have had as well in competition. But 4 and 5 and 6 fights in a day it's a tall order, isn't it? Especially if it goes the full rounds.
Oh, definitely, mate. And like obviously, it's not as brutal as bare knuckle, but back then, that was the thing to do. It were that's when like traditional martial arts were traditional martial arts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sorry, mate. Someone's creeping in. I have my stick up in my camera at the top. Dodgy fuckers listening and watching in on other times. But yeah, go on, bro. So
but yeah, mate. So that's where my fights accumulated from, and then I retired. I had my last fight on 27th of April, my last show.
Yeah.
It was my daughter's first competitive bout. She's had 2 previous. She's a kickboxer herself. She's only 9. She boxed a girl who were a couple of years older and a bit heavier. But obviously she's a kicker, he's Farrer, and this girl were a boxer. She held her own with her, and then she fought a boy on a second fight, and went distance with him. And then this girl that she fought on the 27th of April, like I thought it'd be nice to retire on my show and let her have her first competitive. And she went out and absolutely fucking smoked her. She stopped her in 3rd round, like so.
Oh man, proud moment.
Yeah, definitely proud moment, man. It were an emotional night.
Yeah, how did you get on?
I'm gonna fight a guy. I won't say his name, obviously, but he pulled out on me last minute, and that was meant to be hybrid boxing, 4-ounce gloves. My show started at 5 o'clock, and he pulled out at 4:30. So another guy come over and boxed me in 10s because he were fighting on bad to the bone 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So we ended up just boxing in 10s, and I stopped him in 2nd round with a body shot.
Yeah, bro,
and that's it.
He obviously coming to fight, mate. I know you won't, especially on your own show, ask for a fighter that's going to take a knee. And we don't do that anyway, mate. But listen, stopping him in the 2nd round, mate, for your last fight, some achievement, especially with the same show as your daughter as well.
I know, man. It was just to enjoy it, and but now I've still got that bug again, and I'm thinking, fuck, I don't know what I want to do now. I didn't get that fulfillment what I wanted because the show that I fought on was my own show. I had myself, my daughter, 14 of my lads on, and it was my own show running it. So it was a lot of stress.
Would you try? Would you try another type of martial arts? Would you try another discipline?
I don't know, man. I've always wanted to have a go at this hybrid boxing. 4-ounce gloves, just to see how quick my hands are. And I know it sounds horrible. I want to kind of see what damage I can do in 4-ounce gloves. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, man.
It sounds horrible, doesn't it?
Me and Scott McHugh used to spar in 4-ounce gloves, just to fucking punch each other's heads. You know what I mean? And we did a bit of bare knuckle sparring as well. And I would definitely say that there's not much difference. There is difference, but there isn't as much difference as you might think when it comes to bare knuckle and
4-ounce.
Yeah, because I mean, like a little bit of padding, it really rattles your head quite a bit. But you don't get cut so easy. So I'd say it's more aesthetically damaging. But I think the MMA gloves are a bit more damaging, to be fair, to the brain, not the face, but the brain.
Well, they say this about boxing gloves, don't they? That there's more actual brain trauma through boxing gloves than there is in the bare knuckle.
Yeah, consistent blows to the head, repeated and consistent blows, and the brain takes it until you get concussion. So yeah, I mean, I do a bit of my own observational insights. I'm looking and thinking, and I wonder if that's that, and it kind of connects dots. And I've been saying this since I started bare knuckle that bare knuckle's a lot more safe than glove fighting for sure. And I think that I'd rather remember to wipe my ass and not be able to do it because my hands are fucked than not to remember to wipe my ass and walk down the road with shit on my back. You know what I mean? So when I'm 90 years old, if I'm telling you I need my ass wiping, it's because my hands are fucked. So
yeah, definitely.
But moving on, mate. So 2021, bro, you went through a massive bout of depression, and I just want to know, mate. What sparked this? What's the thing that you felt sent you over the edge, or what was the driving force to put you onto the edge?
So this is like the deep part now, and I haven't really got as deep with it as what we're going to do in this podcast. This is why I wanted to do this other podcast, so I don't feel like I went deep enough in the last one.
Yeah, good.
And I'm not ashamed of anything now. I've always thought there's always been a stigma around men's mental health.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to talk about stuff. I'm going through current therapy. I do nearly 3 hours a week. I'm in a group for 2 hours for the next 12 months. And I've got private 1-to-1 every week. It's hard, man. But I've learned to be able to recognize certain things now. Do you know what I mean? And I know where I went wrong, and I know, and I can't go back and change it, but I know how I can't get there again. If that makes sense, I've so basically I've got a little girl. She's my world. Just hang on a sec. You need to go out, sweetheart. Just try to go out, please. Right, I'll be down in a minute. Bye. Sorry.
I want to reflect on some of the stuff you say, mate. I'll reflect on my stuff as well because, a lot of it resonates for me and, my fuck-ups. And because, if we're talking and having a conversation on what's affected us in certain ways, I think sometimes it's good to get a bit of response, a bit of feedback. And, I'm resonating with you on this already, mate. When you make mistakes, you do silly things and you think there's no coming back from it.
Yeah, you kind of get to that point in your head, and I'm trying to be a bit of an ambassador and stuff for this men's mental health, because without sounding horrible, and I'm allowed to say this, I might piss people off, but I think some people do use mental health as an excuse for stuff. But I also think there are a lot of people out there that genuinely do suffer with stuff, and the people that are genuinely suffering are the ones that are the quietest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The ones that, and this is where it's like a crossover point. I've been quiet for so long because of the stigma of stuff. And I thought, well, if I start speaking about it, do people think I want it for attention? And You could walk past me in the street. I'm the happiest person. I'm jolly. I take on other people's problems, and I'm such a fake bastard around everybody. You know, there's a thing, and I've done a lot of reading and stuff, and there's a thing called the three faces.
Yeah.
And it's a Japanese like picture, and one's what people see you as, one's what people, your friends and family see you as, and the other one is who you truly are. And all three faces, the first one's a laughing, happy character, the next one's just plain face, and the other one's kind of like destroyed and fucking upset, you know. And you wear these masks daily, you know.
Yeah, I agree, man.
And,
some people wear them.
and fuck me, man. It's like, and I believe that, like you say, you see all these posts of people, like famous people that have 2 hours later took their own life, and they're laughing on a balcony with their friends and stuff. You know, they're people that are genuinely suffering. The ones that are out there posting, and as horrible as it sounds, man, in a way they're wanting the attention for a little bit of comfort, but some people do use it to the extreme, and that's where I think men have shut their mouths and not said anything. Which is sad, really, because it fucks it up for everybody then, doesn't it, I think?
Also, does, mate. I mean, it's a bit like disabled people, people that are claiming disabilities. Some people really are, and that's why they're doing this interviews, yeah? Because they know that some people are jacking, some people are just, taking when they should be taking. And this causes a big, massive issue, because then they start to become so stringent that those that do deserve it don't get it. There's too many people getting it. Now they're going to blame it on this and blame it on that. Anyway, it's the same with that, people don't believe that many people got mental health. And there is a lot more people getting it now, but they don't say anything just in case someone says, oh, you're just lying, because they're liars that do lie.
Yeah.
Like, it's
the same.
Like a game of hide and fucking seek, whether you have or you haven't. People are going to claim they have or claim they haven't. And some people even actually claim they haven't got mental health, and they're going home suffering, and they've got mental health. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, fully suffering.
Yeah.
So that brings me to this, like, me and you are the sort of people, and I know you are, that's going to put that face up and keep smiling until it gets to the point where you're either done or you fall apart in front of everyone. You have a breakdown, a breakthrough, and that breakdown gives you that breakthrough. Do you know what I mean?
Of course it does, yeah.
So
yeah, right.
But yeah, go on. Sorry, bro. So you were at a point.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't necessarily the breakdown of my relationship. I've suffered with issues for a long, long time, and I ain't spoke to my mum for 20 years. But that out of respect for my family, I'm not going to speak about that.
Yeah.
My childhood wasn't amazing, but it wasn't the worst. So there were things in my childhood that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And it's always affected me, and I've always put that I'm fine bullshit to one side. It's like when you ask somebody, are you all right? And they go, I'm fine. That's the first response anybody that isn't right gives you. Yeah, I'm fine. If somebody's saying to you, I'm fine, and you're asking them, they're not fine. And I said this after my last fight, or like, I said always, if somebody's, you don't think there's something there, and their answer is I'm fine, just fucking pester them, and they will break, and they'll tell you.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, because if you ask them, they've got to ask themselves, and every time you ask themselves, it gets to the point where they can't lie to themselves. And I've done it before. Where someone said, "You're right, Smudge," and I've just gone, and I've just fucking cried right there, and I've gone, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm going, I just can't talk about it. Well, why not? Because where do you start? How do they know your path to that point? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you might know, there's a phrase that goes around now that people use, a common phrase, and it's okay not to be okay. But I don't.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But you're normalising not being okay. It's okay not to be okay. But no, listen, we shouldn't be okay with not being okay. We should even be better than okay. We should always try to be better than okay. And that means we've got to ask for help.
Of course, mate, yeah. Ask for help, talk, whatever,
Yeah, good. Well, speaking is the biggest one, I think, because when you've got support of others and lending an ear, then you feel like that it has been shared, it has been halved, and now there's more people involved that can help you get out of that fucking that stink you're in, that fucking rut.
Yeah.
Well,
I kind of come up with this idea, which I'd like to. I'm gonna push a little bit more over the next few months, and it's I'm gonna go to as many shows as I can, speak to promoters, and I'm gonna mention this page, Break the Silence. It's already set up, Break the Silence to Men's Mental Health, and the logo is like a monkey with like plasters over its mouth.
Yeah, bro.
And what I want to do is I want to hand out free posters to gyms, rugby clubs, anywhere.
So that's fucking amazing, bro. I like that.
Yeah, and once you see a poster in that place, you know that you can go in there and talk.
Right.
But obviously, people need to know what that poster stands for. You know, the
Yeah,
poster will just have a picture of that monkey on. Do you know?
Beacon. It's a beacon.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, yeah.
So you know, I'll promote that on my shows if you want. You get me a logo across, and I'll put it on my stuff.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah, cool.
I'll be promoting, mate. Yeah, and listen, I'm all about that. You know, we need to talk more. We lost our community through communication.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the sort of things I'm looking into. You know, why we've fallen apart, why we've become divided, why we have got so many different perceptions on life that are so far removed from each other. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know,
nobody knows. Nobody knows now how to socialise.
Lost the heart of conversation.
Because everybody posts their life on social media, and people think they know each other, but let's be real, social media's the fakest fucking platform going.
Yeah, man. Listen, we all use it in our own little ways, but the majority of people aren't taught how to use social media, so they're all just running off the bat. That means that, you know, like, what is the correct way of using social media? Can anyone tell us?
Yeah.
Because they can't, because there's that many different ways you can. And then you got this, right? You've got children that are learning how to use social media without any sort of teachings, and there's no real restrictions. There's no restrictions on phones for children.
Yeah.
I mean, so now we're
their eyes are getting a lot of stuff that shouldn't be.
Yeah, and now they're getting taught how to be fake because now they've been fake online to get what they want or get the attention that they feel they need, or that they desire.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fully on board with this, mate. And what you're saying there is bang on. You know. Anyway,
definitely.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
So, no, it's us. We fucking hell. We could talk all day.
But we're gonna, bro.
About all sorts of subjects. I mean,
of course, man. Of course. So this thing you're doing, yeah. So it's gonna be a case of a beacon for people to go and sit and chat with someone that they might need to chat to on a no judgment, no judgment basis. You know, within reason.
Yeah, definitely, man. And that's what I want to kind of look into. I mean,
yeah.
When we go back to like the story where I kind of fell off the rails a little bit, I think my breakup in my relationship was kind of like to the top part of where, like, the peak, the apex, where everything was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the breakup of the relationship. The relationship broke down, you know, and I'm not going to go into that again because obviously my little girl's mum's got some privacy on this and stuff. And my main thing was, you know, we split up through COVID.
Yeah.
And it was just a shit time. There were nowhere open. So we couldn't even escape each other. And when I finally moved out, you know, there were no estate agents open, and I had to rent the house that I'm in now off a friend of a friend. Shops, you know, you couldn't just go out and buy a fucking bed. And I left my ex-partner with everything because that was my little girl's home. You know, I'm not going to start saying, well, I want this and I want that, because that's not what you do. I don't think that anyway. You know, I've got morals.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Sorry. She's just asking me about some food. But yeah, so I didn't...
Same situation, but not same situation, but same sort of thing going on, yeah. So once again, resonate with that, mate, and the same sort of belief. You know, you don't take everything, but you know, I ain't been able to do my part since. I've struggled since, you know. But to see that you've gone from that to where you are now is a fucking testament to yourself.
Of course, man, and this is what people don't seem to realise. Like, and I'm not playing the portail, but like back then, when I moved out, I moved into a private rented house. Nothing special. My gym wasn't really busy because obviously it was COVID.
Yeah.
So I was doing like 1-to-1 sessions in park. I was on furlough at work, which I only work part-time anyway because I was working in schools. And honestly, Dean, I were on my fucking ass. And that's where my tipping point was. Like, you know, we're only talking 3 years ago here, and I was going shopping and doing my shop, and I couldn't afford like washing powder and stuff, you know, to put in the fucking washing machine.
Yeah.
So I was nicking like I was opening like up the plastic tubs, and I was nicking like them that we've got like you put them in your wash. You know what I mean?
Tablets. Yeah.
Tablets and that. I was nicking them, and you know, and I was just getting an handful and putting them in my pockets and stuff because you're looking 7-8 quid, and I couldn't fucking afford it.
Yeah, fuck them anyway, mate. Win from us every day. Fuck them.
So yeah, and I just at the time, mate, you know, again, it's not. I'm not crying. It's the truth. I'm not crying the portail, but I'd buy a loaf of bread, happy shopper bread, which was like 45p or something.
Yeah.
But it'd do me and my daughter 3 trips to the park, you know, to feed fucking ducks and that. And we were that broke, mate, that whenever I picked her up, that's the only place I took her because I couldn't afford to do anything. And this was when like places started reopening and stuff. I was still on my ass.
Yeah.
And I just got to a point, Dean, in my head, and you know, I'll go through it all. And it was like about a week out of me getting sectioned. I stopped eating. Kind of like self-sabotage myself. Now I've self-harmed for fucking 10 years, you know.
Start, bro. How did that start? What was? Yeah, I mean, like, you know, how did you think about just doing that to yourself? What was the thought?
The self-harming or the starving? Well, with self-harming, I've cut myself before and stuff like that, but I've hit myself in the face with a lump hammer and split my tear duct in my eye, and I go through a place in my head now, and again, I'm free to speak about it because I've been there with my counsellors, and I went through a stage. Up until a few months ago, I still do it. Do you know? And it's not when I'm angry, it's not when I'm down, but I'll like heat up a spoon in a candle till it's fucking black or orange around the edge.
Yeah.
And I always feel it when I feel vulnerable, like when I'm not a man, because we all know, like when you burn yourself on cooker or something, it fucking hurts, you know, and you pull your hand away.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
But I test my mental strength by holding it on me until it's cold. Do you know what I mean? So you can smell it, you can hear it crackling, and if I take my shirt off, I'm covered, you know. And then afterwards, I feel not a release, but I just feel calmer and more positive about myself. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird fucking thing.
Like, it's a bit like, give myself a challenge. Can I get through this?
Of course it is. Yeah. Like,
am I a man? Can I, you know, I don't want to feel some pain.
Yeah. Like people go out and fucking punch a wall and fuck all their hand up. Do you know what I mean? And we've all been there. Everybody's done it. But, you know, this is a true, honest way of doing it. And I'd never say it to somebody, but in my head, I think I'd like to see another man do what I can do. You know, it's like a mental challenge to myself, you know?
But at the same time, it's not something we should promote. You know, I think that is, you know, self-sabotage, you know, procrastinating and you know, self-harm. Well, it's all self-harm. Even when you're talking bad about yourself, you're self-harming. You put yourself into a deeper hole. I think it's something that we do when we're confused and in fear. You know, and a lot of confused, not because they're confused and see if they're a man or not, but because there's a lot of things going around that's happening and they're not in control. You know, a man needs to be in control. A man should be in control. A man, you know, don't mean like of everything, but they should know their own destiny and be in control of their own, you know, surroundings. They shouldn't have to worry about, can I pay for this? Can I pay for that? And we're going to have to do this to make sure I satisfy so and so, this, that, and other. No, and that all comes down to, do we do this because when you hate yourself, you hurt people, and you want to hate yourself first before you hurt someone else?
Correct. Yeah. That's another part of it, I reckon. Yeah.
And the thing is, mate, you know, when you are hurting other people, you know, when people figure out and find out, you know, they it's always a question I ask myself when someone does something bad to themselves. I think, what could I have done to help? Why didn't you tell me? You get down and depressed, and you think you're not good enough because you think, well, they're doing that themselves, and I can't help them. Then what good am I?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
And me as a humankind, a human being, I think that if we're all seeing people suffering around us, and we all spoke up about what we're suffering about, and we could all put our heads together and help each other up, lift each other up again. And
of course, yeah.
this is a prime example, mate. To see you sit there and telling your story and what you've gone through and what you've been doing to yourself, and here you are, mate. You succeed in life. How are you not enough, brother?
Yeah.
It's mad to think that you would do that to yourself because you have these spats of feeling so down and lost and lonely.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad how your head's fucked.
Yeah, you see, it's one of your faces, bro. You're putting that face on, and it's we can act the part and be the part, and read the script and be that person we're trying to be in front of everyone. Trying to be someone you're not, but who you'd wish to be.
Correct. That's a perfect example. Yeah, like you want to kind of, you want to be the person you think your kids want you to be.
Yeah. No, the highest vibration.
You want to be their protector, sort of thing. I get that. Yeah.
Of course, man. You don't want to be seen as not being able to fulfill that role. I just feel like there's a lot more going on in this now, and I think that they actually promote self-harm. Some people they actually promote it. They have stuff like this, and it's now falling on the wrong ears. So you self-harmed 10 years ago you started, and then when you come to this point here, 2021, you just thought I've had enough.
Yeah. So again, Alex Wilson, we spoke about him already. And I can't thank the guy enough. I've got another really good friend, Sheridan. She helped me through fucking. I mean, she's still one of my best friends, like my sister. And it were a very strange time, mate, because I stopped eating. Literally, and I'm not exaggerating. 8 days, I ate fuck all, nothing.
Yeah.
And I was around 107, 108 kilograms at the time. And I reckon in that week, a stone easily plus just dropped off me.
Yeah.
I weren't sleeping. I were literally like 24 hours awake. I might have odd nap fruit day and then I were up and I was in the gym.
How much was you weighing before that? 80 odd kilo?
Before that, I was weighing about 108 kilograms before I started like cutting my weight.
So
like eating.
That's just brought me to something like that, right? So have you ever fasted?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can fast for a very long time, Now I'm not saying that obviously this was the intent, but the intent of fasting or not eating is to get rid of all dead cells, all your toxic shit comes out of your body.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Maybe that was a subconscious thing, because even though you didn't eat, it's not a bad thing not to eat. We're too accustomed to eating food as and when we need to, or as and when we want to. So maybe that did you some good because now you said you was up all night, and you couldn't sleep. That's most likely your body burning off all the shit in your body you didn't need.
Yeah, detoxing and stuff.
The detoxing that, mate, which sometimes feels like you're poorly as well, because obviously when you're detoxing, that is like influenza and such. It shows itself as a sickness, but it's actually recovering.
Yeah, definitely.
So some of the bad stuff you've gone through, mate, was needed more than ever. That
yeah, probably. Yeah, in fact, you're probably right there. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, and people could just see like I'd be in the gym and I'd be doing a PT with somebody. I'd be holding pads.
Yeah.
And the session started at 6, finished at 7. 20 past 6, I'd just stop and just say, right, I'm gonna get off. And my customer was like, "The fuck?" I said, "I'm off." He's like, "Oh, well, do you want me to give you some?" I said, "No, keep it."
Yeah.
Like I was literally on this self-destruct fucking mode for over a week.
Yeah, I get it.
Before that happened, I'd seen there was a vacant super heavyweight ISK title.
Yeah.
So I messaged the promoter. Literally, this was just before that kind of spiraled down. I thought I need to get made into this fight. And I'd seen that they were on about putting a show on around September time.
Yeah.
And they were looking for options and blah, 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 blah. So
Yeah.
I threw my name down, and super heavyweight were like 110 kilo plus. So I thought, fuck it, I'll do it. So I put my name down, and then obviously I started like dying down really, and I never let the promoter know.
Yeah. Also, so you took the fight thing and get back to that same weight that you was at.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, in that week or so that I weren't eating. I'd say I lost about a stone, really.
Yeah.
But in my head, I don't even know where my head was at the time, and I'd just started training. It was like about 16 week out, I reckon, from the fight, and I thought I really need to get my fucking head into something. So one of the lads come to the gym, and he's like, "What are you doing this after?" I said, "Oh, I'm meant to be going training in Wakefield, but I don't know." He said, "Right, I'm gonna come with you. I'm gonna make you train." So I went over to the gym and started doing laps around room while I'm putting my hand wraps on.
Yeah.
I'd literally got my hand wraps done, and I got off the mat. I said, "Look, I'm done, me. I'm not fucking feeling this." And then Joe said to me, he's like, "Come on, let's go get some food." And there were me, Joe, my daughter.
Yeah.
So I said, "All right, cool, let's go." And we stopped at McDonald's for her. Got her. She wanted a fucking Happy Meal at the time, and we went and got some chicken and rice. And he paid for it all, and I just pushed the food around my plate. And I was a little bit abrupt with him, really. And I just said, "Look, mate, I want you to go home. I just want to go home." And he's like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just need some time on my own. Can you just basically fuck off?"
Yeah.
And he left, and I got in car, drove home, and we put Shrek on TV, me and little girl. And at this time, she was 5, 6 year old, and she was playing with a car on the floor and her dolls and stuff. And my friend had passed me a crisis number through the week and said, "Look, if you ever feel like you need to speak to anybody, call this number."
Yeah.
And I stood up and I just said to Farah, I said, "Look, sweetheart, I'm just going to go upstairs. I need to go to the toilet." And I went upstairs and I just sat in the bath. There was no water in. I just sat in the bath in my clothes. I just fucking cried, like literally streaming. I couldn't even. It was like, when you're sobbing and the snot and fucking shit.
Yeah.
It was like something had popped in my head. And I texted mum. I said, "Look, I'm going to have to bring Farah home. I'm not in a good place, So I got Farah in the car, took her up to her mum's, and it was the weirdest drive ever. Got up to her mum's house, and I'd called this crisis number, and I was on the phone to a woman called Julie, and Farah jumped out the car, went in the house and stuff, and I drove off, and the drive home's like 10 minutes from hers to mine, and I pulled over twice to be sick, and this Julie's talking to me, asking me questions, and I could feel my levels boiling. I was getting pissed off with her. And I'm saying, "Fuck off. I'm not going to be fucking here." And I had all this aggression and these emotions from sadness to aggression.
Yeah.
And I remember I just put the phone down on her. She was ringing me back, private number, ringing me back, ringing me back. Kept putting phone down, kept putting phone down. And I pulled up outside, and my neighbour were out, and I walked straight past them, ignored them, and my phone had rang, and it was her again, Julie, and I answered the phone. I was screaming, and I hadn't even shut the front door. And I only know this because my neighbours had told me. They were stood outside and they heard me saying, "Fuck you, I'm going to fucking kill myself." And it was like I was possessed. Like my head had just switched. From what I've been told by people, I can remember certain aspects of it, Dean,
Like
but
an
I can't.
absolute experience.
Mate. Yeah, I can remember. I can remember coming home, and getting out of the car and walking. Can't remember what I said word for word. I'm going off what I've been told by the lady on the phone and neighbours.
You weren't in the driving seat. You were there.
Yeah. And it was a really ironic fucking time with this. I had a black Nike tracksuit on, and the t-shirt I was wearing had a picture of a skull on back, and it said "losing my mind." Crazy, man. Fucking weird. Like, and I got obviously taken to hospital in that.
What the fuck? That's fair.
It was fucked, man. Honestly, it was so strange.
What's that on your top? What top's that? Because it says bad on it. What top is it?
Yeah.
Just so the viewers don't think you're just being bad. Bad to the bone.
Bad to the bone. Yeah. Fucking hell. Like, yeah. Not.
Just re-saying that. Just re-saying that, then, brother. Just draw attention to your top again.
So, I I come in and I like mooched around my house a little bit, and there were a letter on the side, and I got the letter, and I just wrote on the back of the envelope, "Don't come in bathroom for police," and I put it on my steps. Now, as you open my front door, my steps are straight in front of you, and I walked around upstairs, and I've got a pull-up bar screwed to my door frame in my bathroom.
Yeah.
Sure. And I took my tracksuit off. I just had my t-shirt and my underpants on, and I tied two ties together. Tied them to the rail, and then over the bathroom door. Put it around my neck, and then I put my feet in my bath and sat down. So like my body weight were off the floor. And then I remember hearing people banging. And obviously, because I were like at the back of the door, the police couldn't get the door open. So they ended up cutting down the little bit at the top.
Yeah. And
then breaking my fucking door, really. And the lady Julie had instantly phoned police and said because they can't phone an ambulance until somebody's physically hurt. But they phoned the police and said that somebody's attempting suicide, basically. And the police officer, he was just a young lad. He come on his own. And my neighbour come in with him, and cut me down, brought me into my bedroom, put me on my bed, and then ambulance turned up within like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And then a mental health team come out. It was so fast, like they didn't fuck about. And then they took me to Halifax Royal Infirmary. I think they knew where they were going to take me afterwards.
Yeah. They knew you needed to go somewhere secure.
Yeah, they took me to Halifax Royal Infirmary, and I damaged my trachea in my throat. It was like a hose pipe when you bend a hose pipe.
Yeah. Just like, yeah.
Yeah, so they put a pipe down there to try and like relieve some air and stuff and all sorts of shit. And then the doctor came.
Did your voice change or anything? Is it?
Yeah, do you know what, mate? I've my voice is slightly croakier. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit more gruff to it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It sounds better than
it's a new you. It's a new sound, man.
Yeah. So, the doctor come. And basically sectioned me. Yeah. And they moved me to Ashdale Court, which is literally next door to Halifax Royal Infirmary. They knew they were going to take me there.
Yeah, so what was
they
it like?
They knew it, that's why they didn't. What, buddy?
How do they say? I've always wondered, right, how do they treat when you get there? You know, like for people that never been to one of them places before, you know, what was the initial feeling when you got in there? What was the initial process? Was you was you pinned out? Was you grabbed? Was you just walk in and they were out with you? You know, what's
they took me in a wheelchair, basically.
Yeah. Strapped down. Just curious.
Well, yeah, because I were a bit high as fuck with the painkillers and fucking all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
And they took me in, and it were like 3:15 in the morning. And all I could hear were fucking people screaming, man. I mean, it were a 24 patient ward, psychiatric ward.
Yeah.
There's a 24 female and there's a 24 male.
Yeah.
They took me in there, and I think I was in the wrong place because people in there were severely poorly, whereas I don't think I was. I was sane. I was just not good to myself.
But insane. You had the sanity inside. You're just struggling with the outside, I'm guessing.
Gosh, yeah. You know, and I knew what day it was. There were guys in there that didn't even know what fucking year it was. Do you know what I mean? And
no wonder there's that many people outside with antidepressants, because if you think about antidepressants, which are more mind altering and personality altering, then they'd have to have massive wards for people having breakdowns.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like
100%.
You know, there's a lot of people that just take a sugar-coated tablet to fix all the problems. It just numbs them to the point where they lose themselves.
You don't fix anything.
Nah. I mean,
fix fuck all, mate.
Some of them tablets cause a lot of problems within the first week of taking them when your body's adjusting, and it can send people over and under.
100%, mate. And you know, there were people in there. I mean, I'll never mention names on the podcast because of people's identity, but there were people in there, mate, that were psychotic. You know, there were people in there with multiple personality disorders. There were that place. You weren't free to come and go. You know, you had to find out. It was a secure unit.
I'd love to speak to some of these people that are in there for that amount of time. You know, ones that are actually, you know, like you say, multiple personality disorders and stuff. Because I think there's a lot of, I don't know. I see certain mental health and psychosis now I see it in a different light because of my own research, my own observations, and I think that if you give a crazy person a chance to prove you wrong, 99% of the time I think they probably would, because I think there's a lot of things in there they say that people don't get because they're not educated in certain ways, and they get
definitely.
You know, they like to lock up the people that are, you know, the free thinkers. Free thinkers look crazy.
Of course.
You know. But anyway, sorry, mate. Yeah, so you was in there and you didn't feel like you was meant to be in there. You know, you felt like you was in the wrong place.
No. And this is where I can go a little bit deep with this. And I've thought about this because, you know, my little girl, I've always hidden this from her, you know?
Yeah.
And she's shocked. I mean, I'll get to this point in a minute, but, you know, I can go as deep as this with it, because if this is going on like YouTube or wherever, you know, then maybe this is an easier way for me to explain it to her, you know, when she's that little bit older and she can understand a little bit more.
Hey, brother, it's a good way of getting the message to your daughter now, and you're feeling it.
Of course, man. Yeah. And seeing it as a positive rather than me just having that one-to-one chat, because there's got to be a time where she's going to ask me.
Yeah.
You know, cause she's already brought it up in a conversation because she's overheard her mum speaking on the phone, and
it's still fresh in your mind. And, you know, it's for her, because she's saying it now, there's no bits missing. She can get the full grasp of what's going on and why. And I think it's hang on, mate. So go on. So what's happened then, brother?
So I went in there and fucking COVID again, wasn't it? So you know, due to COVID, I had to self-isolate. So you think about this, yeah. I've been around people. I'm taken from my home, onto a ward, then taken from another ward onto another ward where I've got to self-isolate for 10 days. Now, in my room, Dean, and this is why like some places I know aren't looking as serious as where I was, but you have a communal lounge. I wasn't allowed out of my room to the communal lounge. So in my room, it was literally no bigger than my bedroom I'm in now. It had a bed, it had a chair, shower area, and a wardrobe. That were it. No TV, no radio. I weren't allowed my phone because I wasn't allowed to charge it.
So prison. Prison.
Fuck me, yeah. And I was in there 10 days.
So you treat like a criminal because you've hit hard times, basically.
Pretty much, mate. Yeah. And
crazy fucking world. Go on, brother. Sorry.
So they brought my food to my room 3 times a day. They'd wake you up at 7 o'clock, banging on your door for your breakfast. If you were asleep, they'd wake you up at 12 o'clock for your dinner. And then 5 o'clock you'd have your tea, and then at 8 o'clock they'd come round like a cup of tea and a fucking biscuit. But like the food in there. I mean, obviously it's not the fucking Hilton, but the food in there. I saw what there was, like you're meant to be in there to rehabilitate and get better and help you.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, man, school meals were fucking better than that shit in there.
Yeah.
We're grown men, and they're giving you fucking fish fingers that are dry as fuck.
Malnutrition, basically.
Yeah, fuck me, man. And like I say, I went in there at around, I weighed, like I say, 108 kilograms, which is about 16 and a bit stone. And by the time I come out of there, obviously I lost weight before I went in, but by the time I come out of there, I was 82 kilograms. And I was having three square meals a day. You know what I mean? And this is the part what people won't talk about because nobody fucking knows,
Yeah, and
because
then when they get out, they're crazy.
Yeah.
When they get out, no one wants to listen to them.
No, exactly, mate. Exactly. And I know I've got my fucking head about me because I've built up a business since I've come out, changed my life. And I'm not crazy. I've seen it with my own eyes. And it does get frustrating because I just think, fuck me, if that's where men's mental health's going, and I'm not talking people that are like psychotic and stuff do need to be in a place like that, they do need
safety for others,
to be securely. But people like myself who need that guidance and support to be taken from everybody, to be locked in a room for 10 days where everything, even medication, everything's brought to me. No staff can talk to me other than through fucking little visor like I'm in a jail cell. What is that meant to do for anybody's mental health?
If anything, puts you in more fear, and then you go inwards because when you get out and you don't want to go back in there because you know how bad it is. You know what I mean? It puts fear into the system that should be helping you. Now you fear the system.
And it don't put any trust into the system either.
I don't trust at all, bro. Listen, I'm fully on the level with that, bro. And I haven't been in there, but I kind of had an idea it was like that anyway. I've spoke to a few people that work in Beckham Wing, and they feel so entitled, like they know about mental health just because they work there. Literally, they know fuck all, they know nothing because they ain't gone through it. How do you know what you ain't gone through?
That's right. Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, because you can't work in a mental health unit if you've never had mental health. I'm sure it'll say on there, have you had mental health issues before? Because if you do, then why the fuck would you put you in there? So
exactly,
these people are trying to help people apparently when they haven't been through the same shit that they to progress, to break through, to break down, to break through.
And this is why I work with young kids now.
Yeah.
I have school provisions. I've took on a part-time job doing a little bit of care work with kids.
Yeah.
Because I can relate to them and I talk to them on a straight level. I'm not about the bullshit, but like I say,
you're what I would call like a wiser man than most. You've been there, you've experienced it, you've been on a roller coaster, you've felt the emotions, and now you got to a point where you can be quite empathic to young ones. You're someone that can relate to them, and therefore you can speak on a level.
Definitely.
And we should all have a community with men that have been through it that can speak. Not the ones that think they're good because they do no bad. Not the ones that think they're great because they've not had to go through no shit. But the ones that have been through it are actually normally the better ones because they realise just how fucked it is, just how fucked it can be.
Yeah, it's right, mate. And before we move on to the next bit, you're exactly right. Like, I've done a little bit of like thinking myself, and we're all born the same, yeah.
Of course.
None of us are born any more than others. Like, for example, some are born with like one might be born like with like one lesser limb or something like that, yeah. But we are all born non-talking, non-walking, shitting up us backs. We're all the same.
What's the first thing we all do? What's the first thing we all do when we're born? The very first thing we do?
I don't know.
Breathe.
Yeah, breathe. Yeah, fucking
every one of us has to breathe. Yeah. The reason the body dies is lack of oxygen, nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because everything supports the lungs, yeah? So,
yeah.
Or the heart for the mind. So what I would say is, we're all here breathing spirit. We're all here spiritual people, yeah? And as soon as we start to realise just how important we all are together, then we can all stop fucking, we can put this act down and stop pretending we're better than each other.
Mate, and this is where we're going, like, we're all born the same. Yeah, we all learn at the similar pace, yeah? X amount of months we learn to walk, X amount of months we learn to talk, X amount of months and we're all born, we're all in that same stage. Now, whether that's in a fucking council house or whether that's in a fucking £100 million mansion, yeah? We're all at the same pace. But the life experiences alter the way that we like see. It's like a fucking landscape, yeah? It's up, it's down, it's left. And I always think you go to a council estate, people that have gone through tough fucking times, they're the most genuine, honest, hardworking people you ever meet.
Authentic, yeah.
The true people, you know, and you can relate to those people and they'll speak to you and they'll give you, they might have a tenner in the bank and they'll fucking give you it.
Yeah.
You know, if you need it. And you like you just said, people, they seem to think they're better than others and it fucking riles me, man. I hate it.
I believe, me personally, I think that's down to entitlement, thinking that they're better than you is because they've had a bit more of an advantage in certain ways, yeah. And also, influence because someone's always want to be someone else. I want her hair, her shoes. I want his looks, his hair, his height. You know, it's down to jealousy, and then they start wanting to be that of a character, yeah. And that's when they lose themselves. That's when people lose their authenticity because they're trying to be something they're fucking not or someone they're not.
Yeah, of course, and all that's through marketing, social media, and all the other shit that you get to see. You see daily, you know. I don't watch TV. Me, do you know what I mean? I watch what I want to watch. Don't watch what's put in front of me, you know. And this is what I mean. Like when I was inside there, and I sat back and I saw stuff, and I thought, you know, I mean, like I said, I went in there at 3:15 in the morning, and there were people walking corridors because your rooms weren't locked unless you're on a lockdown.
Yeah.
So I could be laid in bed and I could wake up at 2 in the morning and there'll be a guy in my fucking room. You know, and this is scary fucking shit. I mean, these guys, you know, they're hearing stuff, they're seeing people and split personalities, mate. I mean, hundreds of personalities in one person. You're thinking, fucking hell, 1 minute I was talking to you. One guy I spoke to, he was telling me how he was talking to a guy. And he was gay, and he loved Elton John and fucking all this shit. 20 minutes later, I'd see him in corridor, and I'd be like, "Oh, have you spoke to so-and-so? What you mean?"
Yeah, that's down to substances and drink,
fucking hell, man.
Drink and TV and media. So I think that's why. I think that my personal opinion, my personal belief and observations of it is that people have all these multiple personalities. Not all. I mean, I think some people have got like a psychic ability to be in tune.
Switch.
Yeah, but I also some are compartmentalized parts of their personality. You know, they're watching too much TV can create a certain personality. Think of it this way, right? If there was never a movie with Wednesday Addams, that sort of character, then no one ever know what that sort of character is and would never adopt that sort of a character. So children around the world never saw Wednesday Addams before. Most likely wouldn't act like that. But I mean, they create that character, that new actor, that new act. Then some children watch that program and think, actually, I resonate with that. You know, I like to be her, and they start trying to be her. It's the same with people watch. You know, people brought up with certain movies and certain medias and music. It creates that character.
Of course it does, yeah.
So you know, and I think, my personal belief of section, what they call it as unit. It's not a crazy unit, obviously.
Secure unit.
Yeah,
psychiatric ward.
Yeah. I don't think there's any need for that, mate. If we stop doing all the stupid things we do for entertainment purposes, then get our shit together.
100%. And I think this is where the borderline goes between mental health and like psychiatric wards. Like for me to be sectioned under the Mental Health Act, shouldn't have been sectioned under the same as somebody with psychotic tendencies. Do you see what I'm saying?
It should be different sects.
100%. How can you go from somebody that feels alone, who's got nothing and don't want to be here anymore? What gives the government the right to take me away from everybody and put me on my fucking own because of COVID?
And we were speaking earlier on, and you're right, mate. And we're speaking earlier on about, how it's a scary place and it kind of makes you a bit more fearful of the system. Who were the people in there that was like kind of administering things and moving you around? The staff in general. What's their background? What type of people are they? Have they got life experience as former teachers, former this, former that? Have they got some sort of profession beforehand? Have they got
yeah,
the capacity to be able to reason with people's inabilities in life?
See, in a place like that, there was a lot going on, Dean. Yeah, so I mean, we can talk about the everything when it comes to this. Like when you look at it from a whole, you had your doctors, yeah. They were administering your tablets. They were handing them down to their nurses, okay, which were like proper nurses, yeah, proper medical staff you had in there.
You had to take
but then you had nurses.
Yeah.
Now these nurses didn't administer fuck all. These were 6 foot guys, big guys, fucking 19, 20 stone.
Wrestler type guys, rugby players.
Fucking manhandling people. Because in a way, I get it. You're not going to have your average 7, 8 stone woman tackling a guy who's fucking psychotic. Do you see what I'm saying? It is swings and roundabouts, but there were quite fucking heavy-handed with some people in there.
Once again, like you say, sectioning people off in different sections. You'd have different staff, different types of people once again. So why would you put these big 6 foot plus men, who's scary looking? You can actually hear what they're doing to the other people that are actually on a different sort of level of, mental health problems, issues, psychosis. To have that around you, that's a way of punching the back foot, does it not?
Do you know? Yeah, and when you're laid in your room, yeah, and this sounds like some out of a fucking film, but it is the honest truth. You're laid in your room at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, middle of night morning, and you're hearing guys, fucking grown men, screaming and then sobbing to like a loud cry, screaming, and you can hear staff fucking manhandling them or banging about. It's a fucking scary place to be. You don't even hear that in fucking jail.
Yeah, no, I get it. Wow.
Do you know? And you're thinking, fuck me. And people that are suffering, they need that nurturing.
Yeah.
They need that maternal thing of having people around them, having groups like they say to.
You want to be loved and loved.
Fucking too right, man. And to go into a place where it feels like a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
I remember being sat there, and there were a lad that came in. Again, I'm not going to mention his name, and he walked straight in, and there was another guy in there who he was just totally fucking oblivious to life. This man, in his late 50s, and this young lad, probably early 20s, mid 20s, self harmer and high on drugs, and his head wasn't fucking all there. And the guy was just sat eating his tea, and this young kid just come in and just spat straight in the middle of his food. And we're all sat there in the canteen. I'm thinking, where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
Come over to me, staff are like just hovering around him rather than like taking him out, and staff are hovering around him, and he's coming up to me and he puts his hand on the table in front of me and he goes, "Wouldn't you like to smash somebody's fucking face in?" I went, "What?" He went, "Somebody like you, I'd love to smash your fucking face in." And this is like my fucking second or third night after being self-isolated. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on here? And it went on and it went on and it went on and it went on. And I was sat in the communal lounge and he come in and the remote control was on the chair arm at the side of me. But I didn't put it there. I was just sat down. And he come in and he went, "Oi, change channel." I said, "What?" He said, "Change channel." And he grabbed my arm and I said, "Don't touch me." He says, "Touch me again, I'll fucking hurt you." I said, "Don't make me fucking hit you. I don't want to hit you." And the nursing staff, like, they made me feel like I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
don't speak to him like that. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? The next minute they're lifting me up, moving me out of the room, moving him into another room, and it's like this is meant to be an hospital. This is meant
Yeah.
to be a place.
The thing is,
There was
mate,
no control.
all it takes is for you to react differently to them and react in a more reactive way. No, their actions, they create your reactions, obviously. And if you react the wrong way, then that gives them the opportunity to put something in you to grip you and pull you down. As I see it for them, it's just doing their fucking job. They don't have no emotional investment towards it, because why would they? You're just another bod. They see this
Exactly.
happening all the time, so it actually creates more business for the industry, really. Ultimately,
Yeah,
if
it's like the medication side, Dean. Like they'd wake you up at 2 a.m. to go and get your medication.
so broken sleep as well.
Broken sleep. They'd wake you up at 2 a.m. You'd have to take your tablets. You'd have to get weighed.
Like, sleep is so important. While you're sleeping, your body's recovering. You know what I mean? Like,
You think you get woke up at 2 in the morning, you just took some tablets. By the time they've kicked into your system, you can't fucking sleep.
oh wow, yeah. So maybe
Um,
this is disgusting, bro. Thank you for sharing, man. Honestly, because there's a lot of people out there need to know what's going on, because our mentally ill people, and there's a lot of people that are mentally ill right now. A lot mental health's through the fucking roof, as we know, because of confusion and misunderstandings. Not being able to read what's really happening in the world is massive, and our communities are broken down. And if we realise, or we actually see the real reason as to why it's happening, and we can actually pass this knowledge on to people, but for us to make this change, then we're doing our job here right now, bro. We're speaking up, like you said, listen here, and about speaking on a level where we can change things.
yeah, definitely.
It's big.
It was just not a good place. It's just not a good place for people to go. And I've seen other places where people have been sectioned and taken away, and it is like a fucking holiday camp, Dean.
Yeah.
It's like an holiday camp, and over that time, I was sat there and I'm thinking, "Fuck me, is this where my life's gonna go?"
Yeah, you thought we were getting out.
And I'm sat in that place, and this is like the switching point in my brain, because we spoke about this earlier, didn't we? Like before we started recording, and I I had like a switch in my brain. I thought, do you know what? I'm fucking. What is going on? And I sat and I used the terminology. I felt sorry for myself. Sat there and I'm fucking thinking, I'm done. I'm this. I'm that, and blah 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 blah. And you know, um, it was I can't remember the exact date, but my daughter's birthday is the 11th of August, and it was the first time I came out of hospital.
Yeah.
And her mum and her auntie and her auntie's boyfriend brought her over, Farah. It wasn't her exact birthday, but it was the Saturday, and I managed to get 2 hours signed out.
Yeah.
And we drove down into Huddersfield, and she nagged for her ears piercing for her birthday.
Yeah.
So I went and got her ears pierced, and we went and got some food.
Yeah.
And this is like the pivotal time, and I've shed fucking tears over this numerous times, mate. And she come in, and on the floor there was like a doorway, a reception area where there's like a glass screen, and then another doorway, so you'd have to go to reception to be buzzed through onto the ward.
Yeah.
Like a double door system. And they buzzed my daughter through, and her mum, and then put her in this private room. And then they buzzed me into it. I had to sign some forms and then come across. And bearing in mind, I hadn't seen my daughter for weeks, barely spoke to her on the phone because I weren't allowed my phone. And it was such a fucking weird day. I saw her, and I broke down in fucking tears, and her mum was upset as well. And Farah was so tough. She was 5, didn't cry, no emotion, fuck all. And I said, "Come on, let's go out. Let's go enjoy yourself." And she just knew I was in there because my head wasn't right. Do you know what I mean? She didn't know what actually happened. And we drove into Huddersfield, went and got her ears pierced, and come to time for me to go back. And I went back on took ward, give her a kiss. watch them walk off before they buzzed me back through.
Yeah.
And I went back to my room, and I had my phone at this point, and I texted her, and I was like, I texted, I said, thanks for bringing her, blah, 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 blah. And her mum was like, oh, she's had a meltdown in the car. I'm like, really? She was like, yeah. I said, there was no emotion when she saw me. She weren't happy. She weren't sad. She weren't. And she went, no, Danny. She says she's fucking heartbroken. And I said to her, like, how come you didn't cry when you were with your dad? And she's like, oh, because my dad said it's not good. He needs me to be strong now. And I'm thinking, fuck me, man. Like, 5-year-old thinking that. Do you know what I mean? And
some of the most truthful things, man.
Fuck me. And honestly, Dean, I still think of that now, yeah. And I've got a pebble in my car that she gave me, and it says, I'm so proud of you. And fucking, if I lost that, mate, I'd fucking lose my head. It's been in there since. And honestly, man, fuck me. My own mentality changed instantly, and I'm not even lying. Fucking instantly. And I went from feeling sorry for myself to, you selfish cunt. Instantly, like within 30 seconds of finding that out. And
give it a moment.
100%, man. And the next morning I had CBT, and I wasn't taking part in any of it. Cognitive behavioral therapy, I think it stands for. Stuff like pottery and even just playing a game of pool or going on PlayStation and
looking at your creative side, seeing if you can.
Yeah, basically, and trying to get you motivated into stuff. And yeah,
just to relax, to show a bit of relax, so that you can let go a little, that your shoulders can be.
Yeah, showing that you can take your mind away from where you actually are. And this room that you went into was so decorated, proper nice, and completely different to the rest of hospital. It had an outside garden because literally you were only allowed 15 minutes rec time every hour.
And then you say you're there. How yin and yang is that?
Fuck me. And, and I was refusing to do it because I was in that pit. And the next morning, they all come round with a list. And she knocked on my door and I said, do you know what? I need to do CBT. She went, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
She's like, right. I said, yeah, I want to go to the gym. And
yeah.
I started doing gym, and there were fuck all in there, mate. There were like an old shitty rowing machine from Argos and a few fucking dumbbells and little bits and bats.
Fucking hell.
And then when I was having my foods and my dinners and my tea and breakfast, I was like eating double. I was like, is there all left? I was eating and nicking oranges and having like these little cartons. Tell you what though, Dean, yeah, they're like a little yogurt pot, but they've got orange juice in there. The fucking nicest orange you've ever had in your life.
Pure fucking sugar, I bet.
Yeah, it was good though, man. It was
the fuck out of you.
Beautiful. And
bring a smile to your face, bro. That'd be a good thing.
So and instantly, fucking changed. And I rang Alex, and I just said, look, speak to promoter because I've disappeared off face at fucking earth. I'd come off everything and not spoke to anybody. See if this fight's still on. I want it. He's like, are you mad? I went, nah, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, man.
And I asked for a day release, and they give me a couple hours. Alex picked me up, took me for a coffee. We sat in Costa Coffee in Halifax.
You go to Alex.
And yeah, man, Alex Wilson. And we sat, and I said, you know what? I'm taking this fight, man. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And then put it on, and I ended up getting an overnight stay, and I went down to London with Alex for his BKB debut, and I felt like I let him down a little bit, and he lost the fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you were there, bro.
You were there. Yeah, I was there with him. And then come back, and a few weeks in gym, and just being myself really, and they were seeing more and more and more and more improvement, and instantly like boom, 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 boom. I was like leveling up every fucking other day, and they released me, but they released me for a weekend, and I come out, and I'm not gonna lie, I probably told a few lies to my doctor and stuff. I'm like, look, I'm good. I'm in a different place now. Blah blah blah. Blah. I think I should have stayed in longer, but
you didn't, bro, and that's how it went. And look at you now.
yeah, exactly. And
You come exactly. I believe, mate, in preordained, predestined. Yeah. So you look where you're at now. Yeah. So you say you believe that you should have, but you didn't, and look where you are.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
At
yeah,
exactly the right time. You know what I mean? And good, man. It's good that you've done that.
yeah. And I come out, and 3 weeks, and then I fought for title.
Yeah.
So
Were you fast? Were you fast and nimble? Were you a lot more?
no, if I'm honest, mate, I was like probably because I'd lost all the weight.
Yeah.
I come out of hospital at 82 kilograms.
Yeah.
And within the 2-3 week period, I got up to about 86.
Yeah. So put what 2/3 of the stone.
But yeah, like just short of a stone on 2/3. Yeah, and I ranked promoter, and I did a video weighing day before. I said I'm gonna have to do a video weighing. I can't make it, and promoter might not even see this, but because I'm current champion still, fuck it is what it is. But he's not getting his belt back. It's mine now.
Took a fucking belt.
So I got on weighing scales at 86 kilograms, and I had a 20 kilo plate behind my back. So I weighed in at 106.
Wow. And
I got told
that's a lot. That's a massive difference. Come on.
Yeah, mate. And do you know what? I wasn't cheating. What I really? If it were taking weight off me, I'd have been fucking cheating. But I was trying to put weight on.
Yeah,
and,
well, maybe it'd been as catch weight.
Yeah. And I was 4 kilo under super heavyweight like category. I think it was one. I'm sure it was 110. I might be wrong. It might have been 105.
Quite a daring move, bro. Quite a daring move. It's a risk we're taking. It without risk, there's no life.
Yeah, and the guy coming at 120 to 126. I'm sure it was around that number, 23, 26, something like that. Yeah. 40 kilo on me, so it's what 4.5 stone or something.
Yeah, something like that. Fair play.
Stone.
Yes. Knockout, you say?
So I fought him, and I'm not slagging him as a person, but it weren't a technically good fighter for me. I weren't fit, I weren't strong, but he were a lot fucking bigger than me, and he hit hard.
Well, I say a good big one will always beat a good little one, yeah. So if he was any good, he'd have beaten you.
Yeah, and I didn't rate him technically, but he didn't turn up to fucking tickle me. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it was a 5-round fight, and I put him down in third round, and then in fourth round, he was behind on points, and he come out in first 15 seconds, and you can see on video, mate, he tried fucking killing me. Everything he had, he put in. And then I put him down in fourth, stopped him. And that was it, yeah.
That leads on to the bleed on the brain, and is that from this fight, or was that from...
Yeah, straight away, instantly, that same night.
So, must have took a big knock then.
Fucking hell, mate. I mean, he must have hit me over 200, 250 times in head.
Well, and he wasn't that good a fighter. Fair play, man.
Yeah.
So, mate, 120 odd kilo, man. That's got to be some weight and some power behind that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, mate. He did it hard. I mean, the videos on YouTube at fight, and you can hear him bang, bang. Fucking these shots are like fucking bombs, like.
Yeah.
And I went back and I celebrated. And I dedicated the fight to one of my friend's daughters. She passed away. She was 3-year-old. She had a collapsed lung. Went back and we celebrated, and I said, I'm just going to go to the toilet. And I walked into men's bathroom, and I leant on the wall on my left side. And my mate walked past me from behind me, and he like slapped my ass, like fucking mates do.
Yeah.
And I went, Joe, I can't move. He went, what? I can't get off the wall. And he laughed. What the fuck's that? Are you pissed? And I said, I can't move. Anyway, before this had happened, I'd had like half a pint and I took 2 painkillers. So I didn't know if it were like, fuck you, mate. And another thing was, I had them crushed ice packs, what you crush and then it instantly goes cold. I had one of them on my head and I could feel my fucking eyes burning. I'm thinking, fuck me, man, there's something not right here. And I could taste diesel, like petrol in my mouth. A weird fucking feeling. And
Wow.
they took me into this back room, and it wasn't the back room, it was like the bar area, but because I was main event, everybody had left, and promoter was sat there, and fucking medics had gone, and loads of shit, and all my friends and family were there, and the instantly hospital ambulance asked me to say the early bird catches the worm. Fucking couldn't say it. Couldn't lift my arms. I could lift my right arm, but not my left arm above my head. I was drinking water, but it was just pissing all out in front of me, and I was that confused, or like slapped tongue, pins like my mouth. My tongue felt huge in my mouth.
So you lost all is it motor skills?
Motor skills, yeah, all gone, man. And blue lighted me, and the fucking ambulance didn't even turn up. So one of my good friends, Red, I owed it to him. He put me in the back of his car and fucking drove me to Sheffield Hospital. And then they brought me up to Dewsbury. And he must have gone through every fucking speed camera going, you know what I mean? And fair play to him, like.
Yeah.
And then they were saying that the taste of petrol or brain fluid.
Wow. That's mad, that, isn't it? Wow.
Fucking crazy, yeah. And my speech were bad. My memory ain't the best now.
That's blown my mind, that brain fluid. Wow.
Yeah, it's a crazy fucking taste.
Yeah, that's just sparked some fucking interest, is that what I mean, mate? Sorry, bro. That's mad. Crazy.
So yeah.
So what's the side effects? Have you any side effects? I mean, you look like
I suffered really. I suffered really bad with vertigo.
Yeah.
I felt like I was on a flagpole, stood on a flagpole, my fucking head, and it was horrible, mate. That's the worst feeling ever, vertigo. And then, like I say, my speech.
I think that'd be crazy, man. Just to think that you'd be, wow.
Yeah. Everywhere I walked, it felt like I was balancing on tiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I went in. My memory was bad. My speech started again. I was a bit slack-tongued when I was talking, and I'd start a conversation.
Like you maybe higher something.
Yeah. It felt like I was a bit off my tits, you know, and that lasted for quite a bit, you know. And sometimes still now my memory is shocking. Like not my long-term memory, it's my short-term. Yeah. I might be talking to you, and you might have said something to me, and I can completely forget what we've just been on about, like instantly in that moment, and then.
Bro, I do that, you know. I do that a fair bit, you know. I don't think I've had a stroke or any sort of brain hemorrhage, but fucking hell, it's a stroke, innit? You've had a stroke, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. TIA is like a small form of a stroke. It's meant to be like a pre-warning to a bigger stroke, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. So have you changed your diet? You change your diet? Is there things have changed in your life because of this?
Yeah, you know, they always said not to. I'm not a drinker anyway, but they advise you not to like drink loads of alcohol and stuff, and you know, and you've got to be very, very careful with like certain medications and stuff. But I have, you know, I've had MRIs, fucking ECGs or EEGs and all. I've had so many checkups, checkup after checkup, and kind of signed me off, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just we're a very weird time because, like I say, from being in hospital for that long to coming out for 3 weeks to then going through that, it was such a strange time, you know. Like one at the point I wanted to take my own life, and then the second point, something nearly took my life. Do you know? And it's like fucking hell. That's a big contrast. Is that?
Was it as you appreciate life more, because when you did want to take it, you ended up losing it, but then when you didn't want to take it, and it took it from you. You know, like
Oh mate, yeah, fucking too right. It's like, don't you think it's weird how like the fate plays sort of thing?
yeah, bro. I'm fully in a belief of everything's happening as it's meant to, and it's all teachers' lessons. You know that you might be on the flip side at any one moment. You could like people go on about criminals. You know, he's a criminal. Well, he might have done one thing wrong. That one thing wrong that he did might have been an impulsive thing that needed to happen, and that could happen to you at any minute of any day, any time, any place.
Yeah,
Because I know men that have gone out just to local shop just to get the bread, and then next minute, they're behind bars because someone's antagonised them in some way, or attacked them in some way, and they've
they bit
retaliated.
them and killed them or something. Yeah,
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 those that judge, how people are and where they are in life, you really, really got no room at all because they can only judge themselves by their own standard, and a
yeah.
lot of people don't know what the standard is.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. You know, you don't. Anything can happen, can't there? Life's too short in that sense.
Yeah, of course, man. So I just want to move on, mate, because I've got some questions to ask, and some of them I've already kind of touched on because it was tied in with what you've been saying on your journey so far. Like your pivotal moment being when your daughter spoke to you, and had you have a lot of realizations, like epiphanies of I need to do things differently. I need to change something.
Yeah,
So obviously you've already spoke about during the pandemic. I call it a pandemic because I obviously believe it's all a plan. Whatever anyone else believes is it's up to them. But yeah, I don't believe I believe it's my knowing, so I know it. I know it's a fucking plan. So they planned a lot of this to go down. And they
yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah,
Listen, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to speak my truth, and that is that that's why we're here now because we're able to speak up on the things that we see and we know. And
yeah.
after the pandemic, it was a make or break. Either broke you down and broke you through, or you continue to be another sheep. And so it happened for you or to you. It happened both for you and to you. Either happened one or the other, or it was a bit yin and yang. So what happened with you? Did you find that the COVID was like one of the main fuel sources to why you went like you went?
No.
It wasn't an ingredient within the whole spectrum of what was
I
going on.
believe that again. I've got to be careful. I kind of protect here, aren't I?
Yeah, I get
I
that.
believe my ex-partner bought into it more.
Yeah,
Bought into it because I don't believe she was a strong enough person to see otherwise. Then, and that did cause
the
problems
divide.
between. Yeah, of course it did. Yeah, and so
This happened. Sorry, brother, go on.
I do blame COVID for that. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
so that was my belief. That during COVID there was a lot of breakups for a number of reasons, be it too close, too much together, or they were too far apart in their opinions within the same house. Where some people were, they one believed one thing, one believed another. So there was a lot of unmasking within households of who was who and who did what. So
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of people break up within COVID, and if you remember this, but did you before COVID? Did you ever remember getting lots of messages from these sex lines? These in your request, and then all of a sudden you start getting lots of this. Come join our thing. Come join. Come get
Yeah, I
involved.
got a lot of spam stuff through my social media. Yeah,
Like we were all getting attacked as men and women. They were targeting certain people for their vices or their belief systems. It was like it was a direct media and information attack. So I think that's what it was. It was even a test of time during that COVID time whether you were going to stay together or not. A lot of people.
100%. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, COVID did that to you and for you because look in the whole grand scale of things, all the shit you went through, all the fucking pressure and pain, and it's created a character now that's on a different path.
definitely,
So okay, mate, it's nice to see that the journey is educational in many ways.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah,
So
I think with the COVID situation though, you've got to look at it for what it did, and like my auntie passed away with COVID, keep saying this.
Yeah.
Even though she had fucking pneumonia. You know what I mean? And I never understood. I never understood certain ways that certain things work. Like we were self isolating to protect the vulnerable. We were wearing masks to protect these vulnerable people. Keep using these fucking quotation marks, but like
yeah, I get it.
And but yet the people that were vulnerable, that had health problems, underlying health problems, that were the ones that were apparently the ones that we humans that are healthy were protecting, were exempt from wearing fucking masks. Didn't even make sense.
Well, if you go, yeah, fully get it, mate. It's like
I thought, fuck me, you know, surely, like what that's the most backward fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. And that's where my head was. I mean, when it first happened, within that first week or two, I'm not going to lie, I thought, fuck me, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But the more and more stuff started like unraveling, I thought, what a pile of shit this is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm on board with that, mate. Same thing. I didn't conform to none of it. I continued without a mask. I continued to pay with cash where I could, so I could,
Yeah.
And I could certainly see people's fear was there. It was literally fear based everywhere you went, and it was pushed, lines drawn here and arrows drawn there, signs put up everywhere. So wherever you looked, it was in your face. And,
you know what it was? It was the fucking Truman Show. That's what it was.
Yeah, and they could see the ones that wasn't partaking because they were all getting facial recognition. You know, like we're definitely seeing through the fuck we are because true heroes don't wear masks. True heroes don't wear masks because true heroes don't need to mask themselves up because they've got nothing to hide.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah, I had a bit of a busy time through COVID. And it definitely did a lot for me, whilst it did a lot to me as well. And that's the duality of life. We have to suffer to really get to understand ourselves and understand ourselves enough to know others. If I didn't go through this and you didn't go through this what they call it, rebellious streak that we've got naturally inside us, then we wouldn't be able to see the ones that don't have that rebellious streak, that are just conformists. And that's the I'm seeing my strength, so I can see their weakness. And the more you know,
100%.
the more you know others, the more you can see yourself from who you are, from your personal experience. The more you observe other people, and you get the gist of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So, what advice would you give, or what? No, sorry. Let's rephrase this. What phrase, saying, or adage, as in like something that's said throughout time, like don't be too big for your boots. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. It's better to be smarter than you look than look smarter than you are. What would you say to your 16-year-old self that he would carry it for the rest of his life up to where you are now? What one thing would you say?
It's like a sentence.
Yeah, just one sentence. One sentence that would sentence him to life, not death. One sentence that would change his projected course, if you could.
Do you know? It's an old saying, and it's like, is it live and learn, basically? Yeah.
Every
You've got to fucking live to learn. I believe that. I believe, and that's the short part of it. But I believe this. Any device you buy, a phone, a microwave, a TV, a simple thing like a fucking watch, anything, you get an instruction book with it.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
But something so complex as life, or having a kid, being a parent, being a partner, being a husband, being a wife, being whatever, you don't get an instruction book for fuck all. So the only way you can learn is by living. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. I get that, mate. So I'm going to give you what I would say to myself. Just because this is the first time I've done this, so I'm gonna put this out there. It's what I believe, yeah, and this will be my answer, my answer to this question. That would be, I would look myself dead in the face, not dead in the face, alive in the face, alive and kick in the face, right? And I would say to him, Christ is real, God is alive, God exists in us all, and the Bible is an instructional manual for you to be externalized. Now, I say that because you just said there's no... I mean, this is my answer anyway.
That's fair, yeah.
you just said there that there's no instructions on life. You get all these things, we've got instructions, yeah. If you look at the Bible, and I still haven't read it all, and I still need to read it all, but and you know, we're not educated enough to be able to fully study it with all the knowledge it's got in there. But I believe that the Bible is us in words. We are the Bible. Yeah, we are the Bible in flesh. We sin. We get put on a cross. We've become blind. You know, we've become all the characters, the many characters in the Bible. In the Bible is what we are. We're the generations, the Genesis. So I would tell myself, look myself straight in the face and say, God is real, and He's alive. Jesus was real. Jesus died for us, and you know, go do some research. And I would hope that myself would fully listen to my future self and believe it, because you know I'm a free thinking, open minded man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I fully get what you're saying, bro, and I resonate with that. You know, what we don't know, we don't know. When we're not educated on what things really are, then you know we just grab on to anything that we can that seems.
Exactly, mate. And like that, the small talk of live and learn. I think that if I hadn't have been where I've been, I wouldn't have learned from that experience.
Yeah, for sure.
I might still now be in that point where I think, do you know what? I wish I wasn't fucking here anymore. I could kill myself. I could do this. I could do that.
Yeah.
You know, I think you've got to outlive that space
for sure.
to learn from that mistake. You know, I have a little girl, yeah, and I might not be the best dad in the world, right? But I let her make her own fuck ups.
Yeah.
You know, if it's something that's going to seriously harm her, if I think she's on a swing and she's going to fall off and break her fucking legs.
Guidance in it, bro. True guidance.
Yeah. But I will let her live and learn. And you know something, mate? And as ironic as this has sounded, yeah, I've just put it on my Facebook today because it was fucking amazing. And I don't know, I should be able to see it now right quickly. But yeah, you can still see me, yeah?
What's my name, brother? Go on.
Yeah, wicked. So, she did me a Father's Day card, yeah?
Yeah.
And rather than just putting Happy Father's Day, Dad, cheers for being a twat or something like she normally put, yeah? She's put, you are my knight in shining armour. We've been through a lot together, but you've been strong for me, and thank you for that. Love you more than anything.
Yeah, man.
They're words from a 9-year-old kid, do you know what I mean?
That's good, that, bro.
So I must be doing something nice. I must be doing something right for her to think like that. You know, she understands that life's not all fucking sunshine and rainbows. Like, some people allow the children to see that.
Yeah,
but we don't live in a fucking fairy tale, do we?
Well, I think we do, bro. But you got to have ups and downs in a fairy tale. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking, you do, don't you? There's, you know, the knight never meets the fucking queen, does she? She's always in a tower with some ugly bastard first.
Yeah, the dragon, the garden, and the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
You know,
So
like,
how
are you going to enjoy the sweet without suffering the bitter? You know,
right, man.
You've got no perception of one if you haven't got perception of the other.
Correct, yeah.
Or you got to go through hell to get to heaven. You know,
of course you have, mate. Yeah.
So I know we could have another talk at some point about some of the stuff that I'm guessing we both have quite an idea of a belief in and the truth of. You know what I mean? So,
definitely, man. Definitely.
Do this again. I've got one more thing to ask you, and then we're going to wrap up, bro. So it's been an absolutely fantastic conversation. It's good to get to know you a bit more deeply, brother. You know, you
definitely, man. You too.
You're an inspiring man, because there's a lot of people listen to this, and it gives them strength because they'll see you and hear you and see the emotion you put in and the struggles you've been through, and they'll think, actually, if he can do that, why can't I speak my truth? Why can't I tell my tale?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's all the tale of men. It's the men tale. It's the mental.
That's right. Yeah.
So, who has made the biggest impact in your life, and why? This is your last question, bro. Who's made the biggest impact in your life? And I think I know who you're going to say, but
100%. Yeah, you know that. Do you know, like I say, when I was younger, I think when I was younger and I had that didn't give a fuck attitude, and I was quite impulsive and blah 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 blah. And then I had a little girl. A little girl changes a man, I believe. Do you know what I mean? fucking hell, man, it's a totally different feeling. Totally different feeling of like love and how you are as a person, and like what I've just read you on that Father's Day card, you know, she literally took me out of that dark hole. It's true, and it's not some cliche bullshit. Like, I was in that pit, and that day I heard that from her mum. It was like Farah had thrown a fucking rope ladder down the hole. Do you know what I mean? I was like, "Here, Dad, climb up it. Let's go. Fuck it." And it totally changed my mind, man, and my mindset, and literally every little part of my life. People will talk so highly about me. I might be a cunt, I might be an arsehole, but one thing I'm not is a fucking bad dad. And I believe that I owe her that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, man? I'm not saying she saved me, but she made me see the fucking straight road that I need to be on.
Yeah.
She's given me everything I've got. She's literally given me everything I got. So if I can't be a good dad to her, then I'm a fucking failure. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So I owe her my life.
You strike a lot of notes with me, brother. A lot. Strike a lot of chords. So yeah, man, I've got a lot of shit going, and obviously not to compare and compete, because I'm not here to do that. Me just to speak truth, and that is that I've fucked up quite a bit in my life, and it's lost me both my children. And sometimes it doesn't work out how you want it to work out, but then you see the greater lesson in it, and the path that you're on. Like if you'd have lost your child, brother, at any point, that'd have been for the greater good in whatever way, because no one loses children for no good.
Listen, and this is how I can relate. Like when I had that fight and I dedicated to my friend's daughter, and people out there that are a lot stronger than me. Because I tell you now, if she weren't here, I wouldn't be. Fact.
Yeah, man.
And that's the truth, man.
That's where I'm at, bro. If it wasn't for my son and my daughter, I wouldn't be here. But because I've lost them, I learned a lot. And I mean, I say I lost them. I've not lost them. They're still here. They're still around. They're still smiling. They're happy. Whatever it is they're doing. But there's we've all got a path to walk, and my path right now has separated me from mine, and I'm doing what I can to fight for them whilst I'm not there. And fighting for them when they're not there is even harder than fighting for them when they are there, because you're not.
But it is, man.
Yeah, man. And it's good that she's been there for you, and she's been strong for you, because they're the greatest strength and the greatest weakness for all men.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah, man.
They are, man. They are, definitely.
So I just want to finish on that note, bro. It's been absolutely beautiful having you on. It's been amazing, and I've enjoyed it. If you want to send any sort of blurb through about who you are, a bit more on the subject, or your character. If you want to send anything through for the gym, for the shows that are going through, links, just send it through, mate, and I'll put it on the description below, and people can get to know a bit more about it if they need to or want to.
Wicked, Dean. Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's been great, guys. Thanks for coming and joining us on the Missing Piece podcast. We're going to continue doing these and getting the word out for people's truth. Bro, have a grand evening. God bless you.
You too, mate. Catch you soon, yeah.
Love. The way takes the chaos out of the universe and breathes life into it, giving it divine order. The way, when expressed by the mind, is genius. When perceived through the eyes, is beauty. When felt through the senses, is grace. When allowed into the heart, is love. Most people cannot sense the way directly, but then there are the wayseers, the keepers of the flame. Wayseers have an unexplainable knack for just knowing the way. They sense it in their very being. They can't tell you why or how they arrived at the right answer. They just know it in their core. They can't show their work, so don't ask. Their minds simply resonate with the way. When the way is present, so are they. While others are blind to it and society begs you to ignore it, the way stirs you inside. Neurological repression blocks most people's awareness of the way. Censoring all thoughts and impulses from the unconscious is their prefrontal cortex, the Gestapo of the brain. Nothing which violates its socialized programming even gets through. But your mind is different. Your mind has been cracked wide open to the way by some miraculous genetic trait, some psychotropic chemical, or maybe even by the will of your own soul. Your brain's reward pathways have been hijacked, dopamine employed to overthrow the fascist dictatorship of your prefrontal cortex. Now your brain is free of repression, your mind free of censorship, your awareness exposed to the turbulent seas of the unconscious. Through this open doorway, divine light shines into your consciousness, showing you the way. This is what makes you a wayseer. 90% of human civilization is populated with those whose brains are blocked to the way. Their brains are hardwired to enforce the social programming indoctrinated since birth. Unlike you, they cannot break out of this programming because they have not yet experienced the necessary revolution of mind. These programmed people take social institutions and rules very seriously. Society is full of games programmed to keep people's minds occupied so they will not revolt. These games often cause sick fixations on peculiar protocols, power structures, taboos, and domination, all subtle forms of human bondage. This distinct form of madness is not only tolerated by the masses, but insisted upon. The programmed ones believe in rules so forcefully, they become willing to destroy anyone who violates them. Wayseers are the ones who call their bluff. Since wayseer minds are free to reject social programming, wayseers readily see these social institutions for what they are: imaginary games.